Okay. Luis, how and at what point in your career did you become involved with ICAZ?
Well, I became involved with ICAZ in 1986 when the meeting at Bordeaux was on the making. When I was aware that that meeting was going to take place, and I applied for some support from people from Bordeaux, and I want some support from them, so I was able to travel to Bordeaux, and that was my first experience about the meaning of ICAZ, how many people were involved in the study of bones, which in Argentina, you know, at that time was not a large number.
And you were about to become a doctor at the time?
At that time, my PhD dissertation was defended at some point in 1986. I can't remember if I was before or after that meeting, but I was there. Yeah.
What were your impressions on the thematic diversity of the papers presented at that time and nowadays?
Well, the diversity was good at that time. It wasn't really focused on a few aspects of archaeozoology. There was a lot of America, Europe, Africa, a little of everything. In terms of methodology and techniques, of course, there are enormous changes from that time. So now we have a more thematically oriented symposium together with symposia oriented toward new techniques. No? Those were absent at that time. So that's a big change. The incorporation of techniques as the part of the knowledge that we begin to incorporate within our formation as archaeologists, in my opinion.
What impact did being a member of ICAZ have on your professional development?
Well, it was very important because in the first place, to be able to communicate with people doing archaeology with different kinds of bones, different kinds of animals, different kinds of environments was very important for me because I was able to learn a lot about things that I was able to do with my own assemblages as a result of being them applied in other contexts. And then to interact with people doing that kind of research. Of course, I was interacting with people doing that in Argentina, but that was a very small community at the time. So larger communities always produce more and better.
How do you think ICAZ contributed to regional South American archaeology?
Well, that was a way for people interested in bones, perhaps that's my opinion, to get more systematically involved with bones because they appreciate that archaeology was in some way a discipline in itself. So that was an important development because it is not that we need a specialist in bones to be zoologists and biologists. They need the archaeological point of view, but they need some special knowledge to be adhered to that in order to produce something that we can call archaeology in a productive way. And I mean, ICAZ was able to do that by way of the dispersion of knowledge of people which were attending the ICAZ meetings more and more every year.
Luis, what was your motivation to become involved in ICAZ in the International Committee and also in the Executive Committee?
Well, the main reason was that I knew that I was in some sense representing Argentina, which at that time was not full of archaeologists. And I also knew that the archaeology or the zoological studies which form part of the archaeological project were not very well known in the rest of the world. So I wanted our country to be more involved with what was going on in archaeology in the world. And then not only our country, also South America. That was the same issue. South America, Chile, Ecuador, Peru, Brazil, etc. No? Entonces that was the main reason.
which of the projects that you were able to carry out during your term of office do you particularly value, and how do you think they contributed to the ICAZ of today?
Well, the main project was the organization of the International Meeting of ICAZ in San Rafael, Mendoza. And I believe that to have that meeting in Argentina was very important for the development of archaeozoology in this country, because many people who before that time was unable to participate in ICAZ meeting, they had the chance, and starting at that point, I believe a number of new developments were caused by that particular conference.
Luis, how do you see the projection of zooarchaeology in the future?
Well, the future is ours, and I believe that the needs in terms of understanding more from the bones is opening more and more every day, and archaeozoology from ICAZ will be the bigger part of this, because we need to know more about how to understand the result of genome studies, how to use all the new techniques, some of which are so difficult to understand for most of us, and the links between the understanding of what those results means and the archaeozoology, everyday archaeozoology, needs to be established, and ICAZ has to play a big part in that development.